So, I'm sure now by most of y'all, if you're going on Facebook or scrolling through Twitter, you'll see that Dark Side Rey is trending. Trending to living hell. And they're trying to build hype. A lot of these people, a lot of these entertainment industries like Entertainment Weekly and other fan-made pages, they're trying to build hype where it's like, oh, look, Rey's going to go to the dark side. It's going to be everything that we need. It's going to be so exciting and great. When the reality is no. No. She's not going to go dark side. Now, I will state if I'm wrong. If it turns out Rey does go to the dark side, well, that would be interesting. But there's a few reasons why I believe she doesn't go to the dark side. One, as I stated in an earlier video, is because, 1,000 generations of Jedi now live in her now, and all the Force Ghosts have been training her for, I don't know, I think they said a year or maybe 5 years is the time difference, I'm not too sure. And, she's basically the chosen one now, at this point, by the Jedi. I mean, I saw a video, not too long ago, that was talking about how George's vision was the story of Star Wars has always been about Anakin, and Anakin was the chosen one. Luke was not the chosen one, Luke was just, the reason to bring Anakin out of Darth Vader. But the reality is the story of Star Wars has always been about Anakin because he was the chosen one. But in this new trilogy, we've gotten nothing from Anakin. We have his grandson sitting there in the Force Awakens praising him, going, yes, grandfather. Yes, show me the power of the dark side, grandfather. Yes, show it to me. And then that's it. That's all we have. Why? Well, mainly because Disney really, really wanted to make a Star Wars theirs. Now, I was watching the video by the Ackman, and he did a video about the tragedy that was Star Wars 1313, and he said a very valid point in it, and I do kind of agree with him. The reason Disney is kind of trying to distance themselves as far as they can from anything George Lucas era, including Lucas Arts, Lucas Books, Lucasfilm, well, not Lucasfilms, but you get what I'm going with here, is because they want to get away from it. They want to make Star Wars completely theirs. They want it to be theirs, and they want George Lucas's creation of Star Wars to be gone. And honestly, watching the sequel trilogy, I do agree with him. I agree with him with that statement. Because, Luke was not the Jedi we should have gotten, like, story development-wise. Instead, we got someone who gave up at the most critical moment when the galaxy needed Luke the most. He gave up, and the Force Ghosts didn't try to stop him. They didn't try to convince him otherwise, because it's been canonized that the Force Ghost, and including Qui-Gon, has been helping Luke all this time to help rebuild the Jedi, and none of them stopped him. When the galaxy needed the Jedi most, he gave up and said, yeah, the Jedi should never exist. That's why, with this Rey theory, I believe she is going to bring back the Jedi, but it's going to be something completely different. It's going to be something Disney-vised. That way, when they progress going forward, they don't have to use terms as Jedi and Sith. They can use their own terms. That's why Rey has not been called a Jedi, and honestly, even Luke didn't train her to be a Jedi. Now, you can say, well, in The Rise of Skywalker, she is a Jedi now, but the thing is, when she wins, and when she defeats Kylo or redeems Kylo, whichever it's going to be, she can basically use her training and become whatever she wants. And I just don't see her going to the dark side. It would make no character sense whatsoever. But some of the people on these sites that's been talking about it, they say this would be the best character development for her to fall to the dark side. That way she can become truly gray. You know, she can become a gray Jedi, someone of balance of dark and light. Basically, Anakin. Because whether you accept it now or not, as George Lucas said, the story's all been about Anakin. And as we saw in the Clone Wars animation series, Anakin was able to bend the brother and the sister to his will, the dark and the light, because he was the chosen one. If Rey does fall back down this path and does master dark and light and become truly gray, I'm just going to go ahead and say female Anakin, basically. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people out there that will say, no, that's wrong, that's not right, you hate whammons, you hate that. No, I don't hate whammons, and I don't hate women characters. It's just what these people are talking about with the dark Rey and what they're expecting her to be. If she does follow the dark but comes back to the light and becomes truly gray, they'll obviously make her a master of the dark side and the light side and become Anakin, because Anakin was a Jedi, a very powerful Jedi, and he strongly believed in the light side, but then he turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader for so long and did so much damage to be redeemed again. I mean, you get where I'm going with here. I personally believe that there's a few things that can happen with this. One, it's a Force vision. Like, kind of how Luke's Force vision on Dagobah was like, he is his own, he himself fears falling to the dark side, like Darth Vader. It's highly possible Rey could be going through a Force vision and see the same things, see herself falling to the dark side, which won't happen. The other thing is, if Rey truly is a clone, like the clone theory is, this could be just like Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, where, you have the clone, but if you go to the the dark ending, you go to kill Vader, another clone kills you, and that clone is fully committed to the dark side, blah, 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 blah. You get where I'm going with. And I'm honestly trying to find a reason to care. Maybe just all the negativity has really affected me, or maybe I just truly don't care anymore, but I just don't care about the sequel trilogy. And I just don't care about Disney Star Wars. And looking at the failure that's Galaxy's Edge, looking at the destruction of Lucasfilm and a lot of potential good projects that we could have gotten, like 1313, looking at these comics that are just fillers and fillers and fillers, and just looking at the sequel trilogy with all these characters, I just don't find a reason anymore. Rey is going to be the victor. She's been the victor twice already. To have her lose now, that would be pointless. She's not going to lose, and there's more reason to back that up. Not because we've seen her once before, but because this is the last Star Wars movie for these actors. Excuse me. This is the last Star Wars movie. Daisy Ridley is not coming back. John Boyega is not coming back. The guy who does Poe, I can't remember his name right now, but he's not coming back. After The Rise of Skywalker releases, they're done. Even Adam Driver, he's already in other movies coming out. That should show you that he's not bound to Star Wars anymore. That's why I believe Rey is going to be victorious, and she's going to win, and then it's going to be peace throughout the galaxy. She's going to bring back a new order. God forbid if they call them the Skywalkers, but I doubt that. I truly doubt that, because Disney wants to get away from the George Lucas era. And, I mean, if they had plans to continue the sequel trilogy, after this Rise of Skywalker with the new characters, I'm pretty sure the actors wouldn't have came out and said that their contracts are over and they're done after Episode 9. They're not going to have Rey turn to the dark side and become the Empress of the Galaxy and, like, leave the galaxy in that state. Now, could they get a different actor? Could they do something like 30 years from now and get an older actor to play Rey and these other characters? Absolutely. Absolutely. But will they do it? No. Because Disney is too focused on building Star Wars movies outside the main line. Because remember, Rian Johnson is coming out, and, you know, his trilogy has been confirmed again. And, you know, it's going to be set outside the Star Wars galaxy. Folks, if you're genuinely excited, I'm happy for you. It's just, I am tired of this stuff. And they keep sending these treads, and they're really pushing, this is the end of the Skywalker saga. I mean, as I said in the video earlier, I feel like it's just going to be too much fan service. There's just going to be too much of, like, I remember berries just going everywhere. There's just going to be too much, you know, there's just going to be too much of it. You know, they're going to throw so much in here that we're not going to be able to sit down and enjoy it. And honestly, if Rey was truly going to follow the dark side, why would they show that? Why would they show that? That would be like that's like the plot twist there, you know? That's supposed to be the climax, but yet they show us in the trailer. That's why it's either a dream sequence, or it's an evil clone, or Palpatine possessing her, which, I mean, I don't know why Palpatine would want to possess a woman anyway, because you gotta think you're a guy all your life, and then you go into a woman's body. The first time using the bathroom must be hell. I just don't know, folks. It's really confusing. Will this be satisfying? We're just going to have to wait and see. We are just going to have to wait and see. But I promise you, I'm promising all of you, this is not going to be the end. And honestly, it's going to be really hard to end the Skywalker saga when the Skywalkers have had nothing to do with this galaxy so far. JJ came out and said the main focus is going to be Leia, but as I said, that's because Luke and Han are dead. And the thing is, people say, well, it could be Ben Solo, you know, it could be Kylo Ren. He's not a Skywalker, he's a Solo. He might be related to the Skywalker saga, or the Skywalker bomb, but he's a Solo. As I said, it's going to be real difficult to end a movie about Skywalkers when there's been no Skywalkers. And the pure fact that they're bringing the Emperor and a bunch of other people back into it for honestly no real reason. What does that tell you, folks? Anyway, I'll see y'all later, guys.